it, so we're ready.
What's his name? Jan, right?
They're all different. They're all different in their, in the number of cameras and so.
I know, I took it down.
And these are, I think,
I was watching before.
the smallest amount is Mammoth.
Forgetting about that. The game watch, game whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I was just testing the speaker, sorry. Is he on there yet? No, I don't see anybody yet. Oh, these are mine.
So then, got their advisement.
Yes, you guys. We left everyone, I had a couple of corrections. Line 2 on the agenda, okay.
I got everything.
And I also corrected the minutes here, the revised. And the reports, these 2 reports were missing. So those are in the back.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I didn't get them until this morning because I was in my back room, but I saw you on my camera. So Lori brought them in to me this morning.
Oh, okay.
I said, wow, we're great. They're all done though.
Yeah, a lot going on. The grant has to be in, we're tying up the grant, has to go in by next week. So I've been working with Jim McGrath and Peter Testa a lot to get that done. Oh, got a mascot. These are revisions. Joan had got that there's a typo here.
Very, very nice.
And then the minutes, Charlie Morange was not listed as absent, so I corrected that. And these 2 reports were omitted accidentally from the packet, I believe, so I included them.
Another one here, no.
What do you got? Oh,
Report.
police report.
He's not near the corner, sir.
No, he's not.
Oh, thank you.
He's a nice guy.
I already saw that.
We do.
Oh,
Hey, look, listen, we do. That's who's coming to the, that's who's coming to the pizza meeting. This is for, right there. Just coming to the pizza meeting for, but I don't know, I can't explain it. Sorry. Hey, look at this.
Good, how are you?
Number of calls is down.
Yes.
It's only 1 page. That's good. This is only 1 page.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Maria. Happy birthday to you. Kiss, kiss.
I went to the other one.
Oh, Maria.
Oh, Maria.
Here you go, Maria.
Yes, I.
Something else you did. I
I'm feeling a lot. Last month.
Oh,
wow.
You know, we can stay over for a
He's 82. He's 82.
Who's that?
How are you? Look, these are. I'm over here on the side.
Everybody's been through.
Oh, look.
Yeah, that's it.
These are from Chairperson.
I feel like yellow.
What are you doing on your birthday?
Looking at all the colors. I'm like, yeah, I'm a yellow guy. I love orange. Yellow and orange. I look at the black. Hope she likes yellow. Okay, it's 5 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
That's how they do it, see?
Meeting will come to order. Dean, you're gonna, you all set with this recording?
Go ahead. You can put it back up there. Yeah, you should-
Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Did everybody get a copy of the revised minutes? Did, can I have a motion, please, to accept the minutes of April 13th, 2022?
I'll make a motion to approve the revised minutes of April 13th, 2022 regular meeting.
Second the
Seconded,
motion.
Ellen seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Christine, you would read the executive director's report, please, for April.
Sure.
My copy with all the. Are these the extra ones?
So,
The pile that was here?
yeah, that-
Oh, they're back there. Okay. Executive Director's Report for April. All the drawdowns of federal operating funds for NHA federal sites were completed for the month of April 2022. Move-ins, public housing, we had 5 new move-ins, 1 at GBL 1, 1 at GBL 2, 1 at Oak Terrace, and 2 at Congregate. 1 transfer from Oak Terrace, and 5 move-outs, 1 at GBL 1, 3 at GBL 2, and 1 at Oak Terrace. Housing Choice Voucher Program, we had 1 new move-in, no transfers this month, and 2 move-outs. We remain at number 80 on the list because we currently do not have any more vouchers within the program. We have to wait for people to lease up or move out. Waiting list, George B. Lewis 1 and 2 sites, 46 applicants remaining. List remains closed. Lewis Circle 2 bedrooms, 64 applicants remaining. That list is also closed. Lewis Circle 3 bedrooms, 24 applicants remaining, also closed. Robert E. Hunt Congregate, 59 applicants remaining. List is currently open, and that's the only one that's open right now for elderly housing. Oak Terrace Apartment Studio, we have 51 applicants remaining, and 7 applicants on the 1 bedroom waiting list. Section 8 waiting list, we have 420 applicants remaining. List is also closed. George B. Lewis 1 and 2 complexes. Proposals for the George B. Lewis 1 paving were reviewed and prepared for board approval. Our attorney, Franklin Pilacy, telephoned Beacon Brook Healthcare attorney, once again, with respect to their responsibility to honor the Weed Drive maintenance agreement. We need to wait 60 days from the date of his last notice, which was dated March 20th, 2022, before we can file a court case. Attorney Pilacy will keep us apprised with any developments. Robert E. Hunt Congregate Development. I requested the final quarter of operating resident service coordinator subsidy from the state of Connecticut. We're working on the preparation for the 2022-23 budget preparation with Tim Sandor, our fee accountant. And Marissa Valentin, in the back of the room, just completed all those recertifications for the hut residents. I reached out to the kitchen cabinet supplier to check the status of replacement doors for those doors that had warped from the grant work that was done the year before. The contractor will be coming, they actually came today to warp the doors. And some of them weren't badly, so we kept them as backup in case the door breaks or something like that. I've been working with Steve Ball of Johnson Ealing Associates to determine if the grant funds remaining are sufficient to provide updated heating in tenant apartments at the hut complex. This was proposed as an option or an alternative if we were unsure how much money we would have left once we did the renovations in the apartment, the common areas, the roofing, the paving, etc. And it turns out we do have enough. I'm proposing that we hire TriStar Services Incorporated. They've already installed the new heat and hot water system, which is in the existing boiler room. And that was before the modernization we did there. We procured that, and they had replaced that heating system. So we're looking for them to replace in each apartment, the zone valves, and install new radiating heat, or new radiators, because the old is still the original, which is from 1992, so we want to bring everything up to date. I received Terrace, I received a third quote for cameras. And I prepared for submission to our Board of Commissioners for review. I continue to work with Peter, he's consultant for the Borough of Naugatuck and McGrath of the borough to gather and provide information needed for pending application for Oak Terrace. We want to replace the aging heating and air conditioning split unit pumps there. So we're gathering all that information, getting the environmentals done, the engineering, and that will be submitted next week. Contacted exterminators to investigate 29 in Oak Terrace. Treatment was scheduled for June. Maritza Valentin completed the May 2022 annual recertifications of non-subsidized Oak Terrace residents. John Demilian Associates, a subsidy provider, is completing the July recertifications. Maritza will be getting those back and then mailing the tenants, the remaining 161 tenants, all of their adjusted payment letters. So if anyone from Oak Terrace is here, they'll be getting their letters, hopefully by the end of the month, maybe a little longer, depending upon how long it takes John Demilian to give us the information. Completed eviction at Oak Terrace, one resident over there, or two residents, one unit. We're waiting the marshal to execute the order and take possession because the tenant did not remove their personal items nor return the keys. We cannot assume that they have vacated. So we have to wait for the marshal to come and deem the unit as abandoned, and he will determine whether their items are of any value, etc. So we can't do anything with that, but once the attorney's working on it, once the marshal comes, then we can change the locks and proceed to remodel that unit. Let's see. Updated the laundry room rules and posted at Oak Terrace the laundry rooms, reminding residents to please remove their laundry promptly and to only use one machine at a time. Shared information with Carmelina Goncalves, and she's going to be posting that here at the George B. Lewis site. I don't think we have so much of an issue here, but at Oak Terrace, where there's a lot more tenants and less laundry space, we want to urge everybody to use one machine at a time and to remove their items as soon as their cycle's done, so they don't hold up someone else doing their laundry. Chairperson Erickson, myself, and Carmelina Goncalves met with the police chief McAllister to discuss Oak Terrace resident concerns. And we've set up a meet and greet for next Tuesday at Oak Terrace. There's been a notice posted in the laundry rooms, and it was included in the newsletter for Oak Terrace residents. But at 5 p.m. next Tuesday, the police department will be coming to Oak Terrace, and we're going to try and establish some open lines of communication and discuss residents' concerns. You can meet with the officers that are patrolling the complex firsthand, and we can all share information and share ideas. And we're going to work to try and establish some type of neighborhood watch commission, and we're going to work out all the details with the police as far as that. Miscellaneous, we purchased a pre-owned truck from Blasius Chevrolet with low miles, and as there were no new trucks available via MHQ, which is the municipal vehicle supplier we normally buy from. So we had to procure a used one, but we did get a really good deal on a pre-owned. And we really needed that vehicle for Oak Terrace. And we also, Alberto and myself reached out for lawn equipment dealers to find quotes for new mowers. We were only able to find 2 new mowers. We originally wanted the stand on, but we had to get the sit down. But they are brand new, and we were able to find 2 in the state. So we've secured those. And we're getting one for the federal complexes, and we've gotten one for the state complexes. And that's it.
Any questions from?
I would like to know if they're gonna have a meet and greet here for the people.
Well, we haven't set that up yet, but I'm sure, you know,
It'd be nice to do that here too.
yeah, we can see if they can reach out and perhaps do that at each site. Right now, I think they want to focus on Oak Terrace because that's where the,
Probably,
yeah,
but
the
it'd be
main
nice
concerns
and
were.
eventually
yeah.
to do that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Any
we
other
can look
questions?
Okay.
Okay.
Maintenance director's report.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry.
I'll read that since Paul's not here.
Alright.
He had, his daughter had a softball game tonight. Okay, maintenance department report, April, unit renovated total, we had 6 completed. They've completed 5 after hours calls, 1 with no dispatch, completed 73 work orders. Bladed Flimore delivered the monthly food bank delivery boxes to NHA residents at Oak Terrace and Congregate. Mowed grass at all sites, finally, no more snow. We moved the stored appliances from apartment 2G at Hut to the upper garage at Oak Terrace. Because now that we put the snow equipment away, we had more room. So we were able to move those appliances and now that unit is being re-rented. Installed a new TV in the Hut dining room. The old TV wasn't working. Mark cleaned all the air filters at the Hut portable AC units. Those units have portable air conditioning, so we changed the filters on those. We removed all remaining sanding equipment from the trucks, cleaned and moved it to Oak Terrace upper garage for storage. Paul and Mark cleaned up some sand from the parking lots at Oak Terrace, residual sand from the winter. Mechanics report, Paul changed the fuel pump in the 2006 Chevy Silverado, and he installed a new thermostat and put antifreeze in the Chevy Impala.
Any questions for that?
I just like that you moved all that stuff from Congregate and you're gonna get a rent.
Yes,
Okay, good.
much better, yeah,
Yeah.
happy about that too.
Dirk? Hey, shorter, anyway. it seems like it's a little short.
Yeah. All right, for April, at Hut Housing on Millville Ave, we had 7 calls. One was me having this meeting here there last month, and then they had 6 ambulance calls. George B. Lewis on Osborne Road had 2 calls, 1 ambulance call and a harassing phone call. Right here, George B. Lewis 2, 3 ambulance calls, 1 noise complaint, which was, I guess, loud bangs coming from the direction of the David Road. Lewis Circle, 5 calls, an ambulance call, 1 assist others, and 3 patrol checks. And then Oak Terrace had 70 calls. Most of them were, we have 39 of them were patrol checks, which will have 31 calls for service, 13 ambulance calls, 1 animal complaint, 1 community relation function, 3 domestic disturbances with no arrests, 1 evading motor vehicle accident, 1 welfare check, which was an expired person, 6 general complaints, 1 psychiatric crisis, and then 2 suspicious motor vehicles and 2 suspicious people. That's it.
Any questions for Dirk?
And the Gowan 10 Sable. I know, issue 2 things. They go in and out of here on Lee Drive like you think it was a road race.
Okay.
Okay, you can sit over here at 3 o'clock and watch them just blow through that stop sign. There's a lot of us that walk. Okay, and then the other one is right out here, that you can't get out of here.
You're trying to make a left?
Yeah. That's like, I've almost gotten literally killed 5 times. And last week I was going to church across the street and I put my hand up like that. And the guy flies by me and he gives me the finger. And he's taking a left.
You were
And
trying,
he put a bigger sign up there.
you were trying to cross the street, walking, you were walking
No,
across the street?
driving.
Across the street.
Yeah.
You're-
But it's no matter when you get out, they're just constantly taking a left. From the car wash.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Now
They
that-
got
now
the
that
trouble
makes
with the
sense.
car
Oh,
wash
the car wash
people.
someone's supposed to take a right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Sign is right
The
there.
sign says it, no left turn, but I think the sign
Right
ought to
turn
be
only.
right turn only, but they go left.
They don't care. They've cut us off coming out here.
Now I get it,
Chance to go,
okay.
and they're supposed to go right,
The
they cut us
turning, they're
right off.
turning,
It's better to
the
take a
drive,
right.
but it's the car wash is part of it. Car wash is not being a good neighbor. That's basically what it is. right?
No, it's the people
passed.
who were.
Well, we're
driving.
using the car wash, right, okay.
Tell them hire a cop, stand out there.
Everyone's getting free car washes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, Any
It's
other-
very dangerous. 'cause
Yeah.
there are, really,
I hear you. It's a very busy street. New Haven Road is,
oh, that's right, from McDonald's up.
okay. Any other questions for Derek? All right,
Thank you, Derek.
okay, moving on to new business. We have the George B. Lewis one in paving and parking renovations. So did everybody get a chance to look at the three bids? We've had three bids, one for $596 and $500,000, $515,000 and $498 and $1 is the low bid.
Everybody's up for that last pup.
The low bid is the, okay, you want to take did everybody get to look at that information on that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, sounds good. Any
That was,
questions, any discussion on it?
Well, that was a sealed bid. That was a procured bid that we posted in the newspaper. So John Jamili and Associates and their counterparts do the quality control on the bid because they have to make sure they're bonded, they do all the work, they check all the references for us. And that's part of Steve's job. And they did approve them. We have a letter from them approving that, they are the lowest qualified bidder.
Yep.
So I'm just looking for approval to sign contracts with them.
Chris, how many additional parking spots would be available upon completion?
We're getting 10 throughout the complex and then another 3 to 4 on the street.
Uh-huh.
And part of that with those renovations, we are looking to put in a retaining wall up by building 5 so we can add more parking up there. That's a very costly item. And we're also replacing all of the concrete around sidewalks, all around the driveway, all the curbing, and many of the walks to the apartments are being repaired or replaced, which is really costly.
Yeah, but it's in dire need.
Yeah.
It's in dire need.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's also gonna give us the opportunity, to being that we're excavating the road, we're gonna be able to run some conduit underneath there.
Mhm.
And then we can, Chairperson Erickson is on board with us updating the call for aid and the fire systems and getting them all monitored for both sites, so.
Now, when all of this is going on, what parking will be available when the road cannot be used?
Well, that's gonna be worked out with the contractor. Once we award the bidder, we're gonna have job meetings. And we're gonna have to strategically plan how they're doing this. Before any paving work is gonna be done, it's gonna be the concrete.
Mhm.
So they're gonna probably, demo all that concrete. So we're gonna have to strategically do that, so people have walks to walk around with.
Right,
Once we get that done, then we're gonna work on the paving. And I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of us, Adam, myself, and the rest of maintenance juggling cars and, because we can't expect residents to move their cars, but we're gonna have to and probably lean on our neighbors at the bank, at the church to see if we can maybe move cars down there while the work's
Uh-huh.
being done. But
Yeah.
we'll make it work.
I think that's gonna be a big part of the
Yeah.
project for the residents,
Mhm,
is
yeah,
getting to get in and out, because we only have that one road.
yeah, and we'll be Carmelina and I'll be giving, constant communication of when things are going on.
Uh-huh,
So everyone can plan, if we know there's gonna be a day where you won't be able to get to your car, or you know what I mean? Or it's recommended you not, enter or exit at this day because we're doing demo, then perhaps people can plan their apartments around, if we plan it in advance enough. And that's what I
you
want to
plan
do.
when your days to stay home.
Exactly, plan your appointments around it if you can. We know there's aids and we know there's always emergencies and we have to count for that, but the less
It
planned
is
traffic
going
is
to
better.
be a tremendous improvement.
There's the mailman, there's Meals on Wheels, they're all gonna love us
Yeah.
and they can't drive at the complex right away.
Right. Well,
But
that's
it's gotta
good.
get done.
I wholeheartedly agree on that. It's an accident waiting to happen.
Any other discussion?
Bob Anselli, 10F. We're starting to get the potholes again.
Yes, I'm sorry, sir, we're just working on this resolution right
Oh, all
now.
right.
Yep, we'll get to it. No problem. Okay. Resolution, Oh, hi.
I'm trying to get up.
Oh, that's all right. You can stay seated.
Marilyn Morris, I live here in this Pleasant. I have kind of a question and hoping that you would agree with me. I haven't had a chance to ask my neighbors, but I was hoping that at each entranceway or like the doorways here or in your offices, there was some kind of a plaque that showed when the place was built, how many units or apartments are here, how many, when was the first occupant date, when somebody was here permanently, something to give us a little history of what's going on here. I would like to know how old this place is.
Okay, all right, yeah, so let's, we're still talking, we're just talking about the resolution in the paving up at Osborne. So what I heard what you had to say, and we can,
We can address that at public comment.
we'll adjust that at public comment. Right now, we're working on the resolution. Thank you. And so we're just on all I'm talking about right now is the paving up at Osborne.
So Oak Terrace will get done first, and will be at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, under comments, you just
Yeah, I'm
have
just,
to
I
say.
don't want to
Oh,
quite
it's not
understand what you're
open
saying.
comment yet.
It's not open comment. It's just, we're just trying
All
to.
right, now.
Yep. All right, I will. Resolution number 336. Approval to award George B. Lewis paving and parking renovations to Complete LSC. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of the Nautic Housing Authority requested proposals for the paving and parking renovations at George B. Lewis complex located at 71 Osborne Road, Nautic, Connecticut. Whereas all parties have reviewed and agreed to sign contract with Complete LLC to perform services in association with paving and renovating parking areas at the George B. Lewis complex. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Nautic Housing Authority approves the signing of contracts with Complete LLC by the Executive Director. So results were as follows. So Commissioner Erickson, I vote yes. Joan Taft,
Yes.
Maria Fidalgo,
Yes.
Helen Borbas.
Yes.
Commissioner Susan Nastri.
Yes.
Okay, it passes, approved. You got it. Working on it, getting there. All right. Okay. All ready? We're on installation of apartment heating upgrades at HUT with remaining grant funds. As Christine sort of explained that there was some extra money left over from our grant there. And we're gonna update some of the heating in there. The cost is $188,187.56. So can we motion by a commissioner to approve the signing of the contract with TriStar Services Inc. to install apartment heating upgrades at Robert E. Hutt Complex for the amount of $186,187.56. I'm asking for a motion on that.
I'll make a motion to approve the signing of the
Joan,
Contract. or
seconded,
Tri-State
please.
Services.
Trice, yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was Helen that second?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, C. Camera proposals for Oak Terrace. Everybody got to see the 3 bids for the cameras, right? Had a little bit of a discussion about this today. So we have a review of 3 camera proposals received by the New Haven Nautic Housing Authority to install cameras at parking areas of Oak Terrace. So we had Mammoth Security at $37,893.75. Security 101 at $39,990, and Silent Watchman at $27,850.
My comment is, number one, Silent Watchman is the lowest bid, but they did the cameras here at We Drive and Osborne Road, and it was more money. I can't understand how it could be less money at more apartments up at Oak Terrace. So could you explain that, please?
Sure, because Oak Terrace is a little bit different. We already have their fire and their call for aid monitoring system, which has fiber optic wiring. So they are able to do the Oak Terrace cameras by piggybacking off of their own fiber optics. Whereas down here, they don't have any existing wiring or software. That's why we're going to run some conduit across from the community room, across the driveway at Osborne, so that way we can set up fiber optics over there as well. And having an operating call for aid or monitored call for aid and fire alarm system. But when we put the cameras in, it was before any fiber optics were put in. So what they had to do was they had to install the cameras and the modems, et cetera, all in the community rooms. And they did both sites, and I believe it was 30,000.
Yeah, a little over 30,000.
But they did multiple cameras at both sites. They did more cameras.
Okay. Now, you're gonna put in, I understand, there's gonna be 8 cameras up at this Silent Watchman.
Correct.
You're gonna have 2 at the community room, 2 at building 28, 2 at 15, and 2 at 3. Those are the entrances and exits, aren't they?
Yes, well, the entrances would be 28.
Yeah,
And the main entrances, Conrad and Millville, building 28 and the community building will have 2 cameras. One will be license plate identification, the other one is for standard cameras. You could see
yeah.
the color, type, person, the vehicle itself. The other one camera at both of those sites will be actually a license plate camera, so it'll take images of, it'll focus on the image of the license plate. The cameras in the middle on the other 2 buildings will be, and they're gonna be wide angle cameras, so they're gonna get wider angles, and that's gonna get the parking lots.
Well, I understand from Lieutenant Commissioner here, Sue Nastry, that she gave me a list of all these different numbers. And I don't think there's one that you're gonna use. I mean, she lives there and she knows what the activity is up there. That's why I understand you're not doing any of those buildings.
No, the cameras are gonna focus on those areas. They're gonna be wide angle cameras. I'm sorry, maybe Sue, you could clarify what you're looking for?
Well, these are gonna go for the license plate in the cars, but they're not gonna concentrate on the buildings where the issues are going on. You know what I mean?
Well, they're gonna be covering the whole parking areas in the front of the buildings. So there's gonna be, 2 cameras at building 3 that are gonna be pointing this way and that way. And building 15, the same thing. And then 28 is gonna be pointing up the driveway and down the hill.
Okay, and then what about 36 and 37?
Yeah, they're still gonna be able to get from those angles, from those cameras.
Even when a lot of it is going on in between the sides of the buildings, you know what I'm saying?
Well, this is the thing, we cannot, there's no way we could afford to put cameras in between all the buildings, there's 37 buildings there.
No, I know, but that's
What
why
we're
I
doing is,
told
this
them
is
where
a
the worst was.
baseline, because we're trying to cover the parking areas, the people coming and going, and the fronts of the building, so we could see, who's coming and going, the activity walking around the buildings. Granted, we're not gonna get every nook and cranny and behind the buildings, but we can add on later. It's just right now, we can't commit to a full-blown camera surveillance system for the whole complex. It would include 20+ cameras.
There is a few issues up. I've been on 2 of the walks through the 2 of the bids, and Silent Watchman is using their own fiber optics that are throughout, okay? The others have to use Wi-Fi to jump the signal back to the recorder, to the CPU, which is, I think it's gonna be in the maintenance, the community room. But a lot of that has to be line of sight. So it's really so that's what we were doing, walking around and seeing where, if the signal can get back to there. So, then I think those other 2 bids are using that type of technology. Is Lieutenant Bastos on with us?
Mhm.
He can maybe.
Oh, no, I don't know. if he's-
Yes, I am present. I just, I tapped in just in case you guys needed clarification on some of that technology. You're 100% correct. Silent Watchman's building upon current infrastructure that they already have in place due to the fire alarm system, as well as the emergency alert system. So they have the lines already in place, and it is more reliable than using the Wi-Fi mesh system that the other two companies, Security 101 and Mammoth, quoted at. That's why there's such a significant difference in the pricing.
I didn't get your name, officer. What
It's,
is it?
it's
Lieutenant Bastos.
Lieutenant Bastos. Lieutenant Bastos, Bastos.
Yes.
Chris, with the system, if what's being proposed now
Mhm.
goes in, and with that system, can it be increased in things added on in years to come?
Absolutely.
yes.
And that,
I
that's
think-
ultimately our
And I
plan.
think this is what we have to look at. We can do what we can do now,
Mhm.
but we have the option to add on,
Mhm.
should things need to be.
And what we can do is we'll be, before the work starts, et cetera, we can meet with them and, discuss locations, so we can address your concerns and make sure that we're gonna be hitting all the buildings as they assure us.
Right.
And if they need to, we can have them move it to other buildings, but they had, I told them the concern areas and they walked and mapped out the site and figured that was the most conducive to cover the whole complex at this time. But we can always, change those around if the board wants to do so. I would just have to do it before they start construction.
Right.
Are we allowed to say anything at this point?
No.
Not yet?
no.
Okay.
I just think that I don't live there, but there's people that live there and they know what's going on. That's why she suggested to suggest a different building. That's what my concern is right now.
Well, we can wait. I mean, we can put,
No, we need the cameras.
I know, and I,
absolutely.
listen, if anybody understands we need the cameras, it's me. We do. I understand that.
I know.
I
that.
don't, and quite frankly, the money is a small enough amount that Christine can spend it without, so, I mean, in that, in that, I talked to Jan today. Jan, you want to say something today, or do you want to jump in? Jan
No,
had a few
I'm good. And the lieutenant's on there, so I'm good with it. Go ahead.
Alright. So, I think that if going with Silent Watchmen, we're still saving $10,000. I think that Sue, you should, get in, meet with them as well. And let's, we can, I'm sure we can work, cover some of the areas and so forth and work with that, I mean, that's what I would like to see happen. I think, if
Just my
we're,
concern is right now, they're not where the hot areas are. you know what I
okay,
mean?
I understand that, but I think we're, remember we talked about there's a, 200 residents up there and very small amount of,
Where the activity is now, doesn't mean that activity is gonna be in the same place a year from now. So
no,
It-
well, no,
it-
no,
you don't
I don't
know.
I don't know. I mean, you're there. but,
At this point, my feeling is it's better to do something than nothing.
Oh, that's agreeable. I know that.
I think,
I think right now is the worst it's ever been.
well, I think, but I
You
think
know,
that,
and even, getting rid of them, you can't get rid of them that fast. So
Right.
as long as they're still there, the stuff's still going on.
all right, let's stay on but getting the camera system in as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
I think, and you and I have talked about this. This is a hot priority for me, is that to getting these cameras in, and we can start working on the traffic coming in and out and so forth, and if with Silent Watchman, the wiring is all through all the buildings. So it's, I would think it'd be easier to add on. Would that be right, Lieutenant?
Yes, I can't speak from experience from knowing that there's wiring to each building, but I would imagine with, there's fire alarm and the alert system in every building, which means there would be wiring in place. In which case, yes, it would be similar for every building, that it would be pretty much the cost of the cameras. The biggest nugget is really getting that NVR system, the recording system, the hard drive and the licensing. is usually the biggest nugget in these types of purchases. Simply adding on cameras years to years is usually a lot less of a cost.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Questions?
I said my piece there.
Okay,
My opinion is that at least go with what we can afford right now.
yeah, we can afford it, just,
Yeah,
you're right, right.
It's a basic.
Yeah, I think we need to
for
get
future
going,
work,
right?
and That's important.
We've talked
It's not
about this a
gonna
lot,
stay like
right?
that forever.
Okay,
I think so.
can I have a motion that we accept the low bid stuff from Silent Watchman for $27,850?
I'll make a motion.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay. We'll have a public comment now, so public comment on anything that's, it's going on in your complexes and so forth. All right, so public comment. Yes, sir. How are you?
My name's Armando. I live in Oak Terrace. And up till this point, I've been rather oblivious to my surroundings. But since I've been coming to meetings and hearing things, I've been looking for. And I had something weird happen the other day. And it was about 6 o'clock in the evening. And I'm going up the hill to my place. And I see a guy with a white dog on a leash. He's at the gate. We have a gate in the back that's supposed to be locked. And I saw him open the gate and go through, out, I'm wondering, is this guy a resident or what? So I turned the car around, came back down. I went to check, the lock was locked. So if he is a resident, he's got a key. Now, are we available to get a key as a resident for that gate?
You sure you want to see it?
No, I wasn't seeing things. My eyes are good. Thank you.
Well, was it a resident? Do you know who it was?
No, it was
No, it's
just
not.
it was a tall man. He had a white dog. At first I thought it was undercover cop.
So did you see him too, Rhonda? Or
I've seen him too, yes. And
Okay,
it's
he's not a
He's not a
resident?
resident, no. he's
is
not.
he connected to a resident there?
Well, we kind of think so.
Okay.
He's delivering, let's put it that way.
But how did he
And you
get
know
in?
what I'm
and out?
talking about.
Yeah, if he got in and out of there, he has a key, because I went immediately down to check, and that thing was locked.
Okay,
And Sue and I have walked down there plenty of times and it's been locked, and another times we walked down. there.
can we just change that lock?
Yeah, we can change that lock.
Good.
If
Okay.
Yeah. and
How's that?
please
We'll
make
start
sure
with
nobody
that.
Gets a key.
Yeah, we'll start with that. Change the lock.
Just the office.
Then one other issue, addressing the camera issue.
Yep.
I know the parking lots are the focus here.
Well, not necessarily, sir. I mean, I did a lot of the walks as well when they're bidders. So it is, but there are 8 cameras. They're not just on the parking lots. They have, but they're, the cameras nowadays can see quite a distance. So what we're trying to get them on buildings to cover as much as we can of the square footage of.
But they cannot see through buildings, correct?
No, that's correct.
And I'm not trying to be sarcastic.
No, I understand.
A lady who, I can't use her name, she's scared. At 1 o'clock in the morning, a car pulled in between the buildings. If you know what I mean? On the grassy
Yeah,
area where
yeah.
we're not supposed to have cars. And did what she thought was a drug deal right there, a white car. That's all I know. And I didn't see it. I'm just relaying to you what I heard. I don't doubt her. She's.
So do you think the car entered one of the driveways or not? It just
No, it
go
went
over
into
that?
a backyard.
No, no,
Between our buildings on the
I
ground.
understand that, but
Came in the parking lot.
but did he drive through the entrance of Oak Terrace to get
I
in?
don't think so.
Right,
Yeah,
so
that's
then-
the way
so
it's
that-
been there.
Yeah, so now we'll have that on camera now. See what I mean? So that, that would be, so they're gonna come through that driveway and then drive on to between the building. We're gonna have that on camera now.
Yeah, but
We'll
you
have the
don't know
license
what the,
plates.
With the license plate cameras, those are at the, yes,
Right.
yep.
And as a reminder, I mean, I don't know who saw it. You said somebody else saw it.
Yeah.
Did she call the police?
No,
No, she just told you.
she was afraid to get involved.
She's a- Cause
See,
you
a lot of
can,
people up there
you
are.
can call the police and tell them you wanna be anonymous. They should still take the
Yeah.
information, correct?
Yes.
We've got
they will take the complaint
scared-
Anonymously.
We have scared people up
Yeah.
there, especially the elderly or
And what
disabled.
building was this? Do we know?
What was that, where Ralph lives and right behind him? It was between Ralph's building and that.
And that other building.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's 910 area?
Yeah, yeah.
Building 910, that's by the community room, and that's where there's gonna be cameras right there. So that's a good thing, we would hit that car both angles, because it's coming towards the driveway, and it's also going from the community room to those buildings, so.
you know, their deals.
They're
We
getting
don't
bold.
know.
I mean, one in the morning doing deals.
You know, after a
Yeah.
while.
1, 2 o'clock in the
You
morning.
gotta-
Yeah.
this is- We do, but I mean, but I think this is why the.
They're behind. the-
We'd like to go
Yeah,
that
but well,
too.
at least then if they
I
have the
know,
license plate,
unfortunately,
then
there's
they
people up
can.
there that buy them, so that's why people come
You
to
know,
sell
that's,
them.
but this is, we've gotta start
If there's a
somewhere.
market, they're gonna
When
be
you have
there.
users, yeah, it's,
Thank God they don't have any down here.
it's a tough cycle.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Lady ones.
Gotcha.
You don't want to say anything? No.
Marilyn, you wanna,
Yeah, something-
Marilyn, you wanna bring up, I heard about the history of the unit. You live here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the history and the plaques
That would
for,
be
or just the basic,
Yes, I want, for all these locations that the housing authority has, some kind of a plaque in the entranceway that shows when the place was built, who built it, who was mayor at the time, even if you have to. You know, and how many units or apartments are there, and when was the date of the first occupant?
okay,
All those little information.
I'll see what we can
Like a
do.
Historical marker.
Yeah. we
Historical
can-
Society might have some of it
Yeah.
too. the
Yeah.
Historical
And
Society.
we can, you
Yeah,
know,
we have most of those dates.
dates, if we get, you know, if we make it, you know, the same through all the units, right? Because I know, like, we talked about Hut, and
Yeah,
I
right.
talked to somebody about Robert, Mr.
Yeah,
Hut.
I think Hut has a plaque right on the wall there,
Yeah.
or, again, engraving right on the wall there. But the other sites don't really have much.
It does, I know that.
Yeah, Hut
Yes,
does,
'cause I was there when
Okay.
they opened it.
Here.
Okay, we're on it. We'll work on that.
Because that was her brother, was involved in that.
And which one's that?
Bob Morris was the architect for.
Oh, okay.
Her brother.
Okay, all right, all right, okay. Any other public comment?
I have a question.
Sure.
Just a general question.
Yep.
Up at Hope Terrace, were they gonna be power washing the buildings this year?
Yeah, we're hoping to get to that. They're just finishing the spring cleanup, all that, so, I think we're waiting for the water company to finish their work too, because the water's been kind of sketchy with them, working. I think they're almost done up in the area. But, once they do that, then we'll resume, we'll power wash the buildings again.
Are you gonna spray for the ones anytime soon?
Spray for bugs. Down here, I am, looking for a quote for year-round, bug stuff, things like that, something that can be done. We get a lot of carpenter bees here, so I'm trying to sign a contract with them to come on a regular basis. Oak Terrace is kind of, it varies what you got up there, but, here is kind of more bees, so we're, yeah. So we're doing a pest contract.
And as I said, a second part question.
Yep.
If on the handicapped units, there's like, if there's leaves piled up around their around the building, in front of their building, stuff. Are they responsible for cleaning that out, or is the maintenance?
Yeah, well, maintenance, put in, maintenance, they can just call for that,
Yeah, you
right?
can put a work order in if there's leaves or something.
Yeah.
If it's in the garden, somebody's garden, I mean, we don't,
Yeah, the guard, because there's bushes in front of the people's units. And then there's actually bunches of leaves that are on their porches and, they can't really.
Well, we can if we can get to them. If there's a lot of stuff, we don't want to go to the leaf blower and then people get mad we damage their items.
Okay.
That's why when we start power washing, we're gonna tell everybody you have to move everything off their porch because we don't want to be responsible for damaging anything.
I'm sure if you put in a request with Paul, he
Oh,
would
yeah.
take care of it.
Exactly, and as long as you move the things, if it's somebody else's porch, then you can put in a work order for maintenance to check it out if there's a lot of leaves or something.
Yeah, there is stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I asked about the road.
Yes.
Potholes.
Yes, sir.
Especially, I mean, a year ago, this road was a disgrace, honestly.
Yeah, well.
And you're getting a lot of potholes that close to the end of the road, close to New Haven. I mean, are they gonna wait?
Oh, I mean, up here. Okay, so here's what's going on with Weed Drive. What was it, 30, I think it was 30 years ago. We made a contract with Beacon to use the road, okay? They were supposed to take the maintenance of the road 30-something years ago. Okay, and complete maintenance of the road. And what's happened is that they've changed owners a couple of times and so forth, and that sort of gotten forgotten. So now the road is in disrepair. So we are in the process of trying to get them to take responsibility for the road. And that's, if you heard us, we're talking about we had to wait for the attorney 90 to 60 days. So we might have to sue them to get them to fix the road. In the meantime, Adam, right, is fixing, is putting in, filling potholes, and the town is also helping us with that as well. So I've noticed potholes and I've asked them, matter of fact, I think last month I asked Christine to fill, especially the ones out, getting up by New Haven Road. There's a few more out there now. So, but right now that's what's happening. So we're gonna probably get to go. I know, I get it. And we're, it's $100,000 to fix the road.
Is it like water underneath it? 'Cause
I think
the
it's-
one over there is.
It's just, I think I did the math. I think it was like 30-something, 35 years or so it's been there, okay? All right, so. And they obviously put some water line in there and they fixed that section. They fixed theirs, they fixed their entrance, okay? So we are, that is on one of my dues for this year. There's 4 or 5 things on my to-do list and that is on there, but right now it looks like we might have to take them to court. All right, so we've done everything we've done up to that. We have to wait the 60 days. I think it was March 20th was when we called them. So we have to get 60 days from March 20th. So it's coming up actually. Yeah. All right. I would hope that we could have resolved it without taking it in the court. Really, it was about $3,000 a year if they put the money away, but.
Why is this considered a private road? Why isn't it a town road? There's 3 businesses.
Well, it's because originally the road was put in for this complex and that's how, so it's really part of this complex. It's our road. It's the Nautic Housing Authority Road because of this complex. And then what happened, and that's another part of the story too, is that the businesses sort of wound down a little bit. And, the bank now has, actually have 2, I noticed they have 2 exits, right, from their parking lot and then one for the drive-through, right? And that's the reason why the car wash doesn't exit onto our road because that would have been.
They do a U-turn and they go out.
Okay, but that's part of the reason why they have what they have there for their entrance and exit. All right, so we're working on it. It is one of my priorities. Okay, any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Matt Erickson. I'm the chairperson of Housing.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We need a new face.
My name is Matt Erickson. I'm a lifetime resident. I know I'm a little younger, but I'm surrounded by these wonderful women. So
Now, where do you live?
I live. No, I don't. I live very close to Oak Terrace. So, okay. So I'm. Am I done, Ellen? Can I get my foot out of my mouth? Okay.
Get your foot out of
All
your
right.
mouth.
Anything else? Anything else? Any other public comment? Okay, great.
Commissioner comments.
I think we had a good meeting. I think we covered a lot of ground. Trying to help with problems, and I think we're on the way of doing it.
Any other comments?
Oh, we're getting the neighborhood watch thing going. too.
Well, that was, oh, yes, but maybe, I'll mention that. We are working on Oak Terrace to have a neighborhood watch in conjunction with the police officers, and Susan Astry is working on that. So if you want to be a part of that neighborhood watch, could you please see Sue? I think it'll help, help a lot up there, all right? Any other comments?
Does every place have a neighborhood?
Not yet, but we can work on that. Okay, all right. Sure. So, hold on.
In Oakdale, they used to have neighborhood.
Right.
It did work for a while, but then it got really political.
Okay.
Oh, this will work.
All right, can I have a motion by the commissioner to adjourn the meeting, please? Motion?
Make a motion to
Sue
adjourn
does.
the meeting at
Oh, that's-
it's 5:50.
5:50.
Second motion.
Seconded.
This time.
Sue motion first.
Make it her do it.
Okay, you want to go?
Our neighborhood watch.
Okay. All right. I'll be here. I'll talk to you. You got a few things you want to talk about.
I know you do. We're not either. That's why I said you're gonna work with
I
us.
was told you're the copy.
Yeah, you're gonna work with us. Come on now.
I guess. Let's see what we can do.
You all right? That's not my name.
We got plenty of time.
Oh, yes. Shot.
All right, I'll see what we can do. Right now.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Those two.
Oh, you got the Christmas lights on now.
We're gonna do those two.
In the power strip. Careful the cord, Joan, I'm sorry.
You're so bad. You are terrible.
You all set?
Yeah, I'll say.
Was this thing didn't seem receptive.
We,
I don't.
okay, so. I'll talk.
Adam filled the pockets today.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you noticed, but.
You tell Commissioner Harrison is coming down, he wants to talk. Can you, there's a few more.
I know, right?
They do have to.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Okay.
And we can set up a meeting with Silent Watchman with the board.
I know. I think
He's open to moving stuff.
yes. I-
That was just
I
the
understand.
board.
I think Sue is worried about that. Hi, yes, ma'am.
Hello, Marilyn. How are you, honey?
I'm doing okay. This is something we would like to have, if you ever think about it.
Okay.
Just
The date bill, okay.
Next one. It wasn't too bad.
I'm gonna put it on there. You know what? I think we talked about this like a year ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I bet you Mike Mormel could look this. I think I asked Mike to look at this in the land records, but
I think it would be very nice.
yeah, exactly. Write down who the builder was, who the architect was,
Well,
etc.
you don't have to say the architect if you don't have to.
Oh, no, yeah, but no, that's a good idea, you know? Let's have a little history. Yeah, right? I know. I remember when the Ion Bank was, that was a hayfield. We used to hay that. Yeah, Clark. Mrs. Clark, we used to hay that field to take it for our horses. Yeah, my brother still does like Bassett's down there. Oh, yeah. Deacon Valley Road, he still does that for them. We don't have horses anymore, but we still trim it for them. You give the hay away.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
And I
What was
actually.
I traded my daughter, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I traded my daughter.
I'm 63 and they
Yeah.
just 60.
I know there's a Raymore Flanagan.
I don't go
Gary.
that way.
Yeah, and they.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, I got it.
High school.
She likes
For less expensive,
I
you can
do.
go to like, Costco or, BJ.
Yeah.
You have a membership.
You like yellow?
My daughter's in that.
I do, and they go there over years.
Yes, they have.
Oh, she has recliners?
Whoa.
Wow. I think you'll have to like, ask Adam for assistance with assembling that. You're probably gonna be a box, right?
You know, I mean.
You don't get made
now,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I came
So,
with,
the
I
box-
came with help.
All you do,
Yeah, there you go.
all you do is just slide it back in, go in and sit.
And where's it?
Ocean's City, they say rub right.
Oh, there's Costco in Waterbury and BJ's in Waterbury.
I know, I have one of those.
I don't know if Costco would have the same thing. Take a time to read or-
I don't know what
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're right. Costco does have.
Yeah, Costco and BJ's, both. So if your daughter.
Very good, very good.
You get the big discount, actually.
Yeah.
And if your birthday's coming up, congratulations. Better idea.
Thanks.
Father's Day. Father's Day is in June.
You're going to, you're gonna get it for nothing.
Yes, let me just shut this down.
Yeah.
I just love you.
Yeah.
And this guy, I love you. Yeah, I know.